Hello, ladies and gentlemen, VG Musician coming at you today. We are continuing our Super Mario Brothers ground background music piano lesson, easy how to play. I'm excited about today because we're going to be covering 4 measures. Typically we've done 2 in the past, but we're going to be moving on up to 4 as I'm sure you're getting better and quicker and able to grasp these concepts a little bit more. Also, one of the measures we're going to cover today is repeated, so it's the same measure. So you're actually only learning 3 new measures. So the cool thing about today, once again, is that we're learning the B part. We've mastered the A part already. This is what the B part's going to sound like. All right, let me do that again for you. Excellent. So that's what we're going to be doing today. As you can see, the new notes you'll be learning today are D sharp and G sharp. And all the previous notes from the lessons have already been covered. If you're just now joining us, please do go back and listen to the videos ahead of this because we've already covered So that part we've learned through the previous lessons. So to get caught up, you need to watch all those so that you can pick up where we are on measure 7 through 10. The sheet music I'm using is part of a piano book. I've linked that in the description if you want to pick that up so you can continue the lessons with us. And with that being said, we're going to be diving in today. The fun part about today is there's some difference in the rhythm between the left and the right hand. And we haven't experienced that yet. Typically, so far, every time we play something with the right hand, we're playing something with the left hand. There's never been a time where there's been any dissonance between that rhythm. And today there is. See how fun that feels? I love it. So the interesting part about that is it's going to take some time to get used to playing that left hand and right hand with a different rhythm because you're going to want to probably put that left hand down at the same time you're putting the right hand down. So just be patient with yourself. Just work it real slow. Learn the right hand like we do. We'll learn the left hand. Then we'll combine them together nice and slow. So let's dive into that first measure. You'll notice we've got a rest immediately. That's a quarter rest. So we'll be resting there for 1 beat. And then we're going to dive in with our 8th notes. Da 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 da. And you'll notice none of these are staccato, so we don't have to make them nice and sharp. We can just go. So that's what that's going to sound like. So if you'll notice that very first note we have is G. It's in our right hand and it's a high G. So you'll notice there's 2 G's. There's one in the center of the staff, and then there's one that's sitting right on top of that bar, and that means it's the high G. So the low G is the G immediately to the right of middle C. Middle C is the C that's in the middle of the keyboard. So to identify the C's, remember, find the 2 black notes. C is the note to the immediate left. And you want to find the one that's right in the middle of the keyboard. That's where we'll always start. And that's what separates the left and the right hand. So find that. Go up to G. Then go up to C again. Then go up to G. So that's where we're going to be starting. So we've got the regular G, and then we've got a higher G, and this is the G that sits right on top of that staff there. Put your pinky on there. Let's just hit that a few times. I know our pinky can be kind of weak, so anytime you get an opportunity to strengthen that pinky, you want to take it. Okay, so the beautiful part about this measure is that your right hand is just going to stay where it's at. So play that, going to be playing the G flat with your 4th finger there. So go from 5 to 4. over and over. If you can't do it that fast, that's fine. If you need to go nice and slow. As always, keep your shoulders nice and relaxed. Keep your wrist relaxed as well. All right, so that's the first two notes. Let's add in that F. So that'll be with your third finger. Da 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 da. Pinky, fourth, middle finger. You know, and sometimes I'll do different patterns of the notes just so you get familiar. So you can play that, or you can do two at each. Da, 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 da. You can go down and up. Da, 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 da. Or you can do a combination. But what you're trying to do is build up that finger strength to get familiar with that particular right hand pattern. Alright, so now let's add in the D sharp. That's going to be played with your pointer finger. It's already setting right there, so you just want to make sure it's lifted up and it's right on that black note. Remember, we've got the two notes here, C, D. To sharp it means to raise it a half step. D sharp. So pinky back on G. Da, 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 da. And then do the same patterns we were just talking about. What you're trying to do is get a feel for the hand positioning, how the flow is. You're really trying to set your muscles up for success here. Because if you look at this and your hand isn't comfortable playing it, it's not going to sound good. So you just want to, get comfortable with that. Give your muscle memory a chance to succeed here. And play it as many times as you need to. Alright, so now we're going to have that eighth rest. So it's da 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 rest, da 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 rest. And then we throw that E in. So we're going to be playing that E with the third finger. Earlier in the measure, we played the F with the third finger. So you're just going to want to slide that third finger, this finger here. You're going to slide it from an F down to the E. See that subtle slide there? Da 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 da. Da, 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 da. Great job. So play that as many times as you need to. That is measure 7. And then you'll notice we've got another eighth rest immediately starting in measure 8. And then we're going to be playing our pointer finger down here on G sharp. So what's interesting, this finger positioning is a little bit more tricky. So not only are you going to have to move, you're going to have to tuck. It's going to look like this. So starting with 7, it's going to go. And then you jump. Alright. So remember that transition is going to be a little tricky. We want to spend some extra time on the transition. So pinky up here on G. That's how we end measure 7. Eighth rest. 2 down on G sharp. So just do that. Now play all of 7. See how that plays together? want to make sure that transition is nice and smooth. Alright, so once your finger's on G sharp, you're going to tuck that thumb right underneath it to the A. So practice that. It's going to pointer finger here, thumb gets tucked under. Da, 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 da. See how I'm doing that? So it's going to be 2, 1, 3. So G sharp, A, C. G sharp, A, C. And this really sets us up pretty nicely. So let's play measure 7 and then pop into 8 and do that little. Alright. And do that until you get comfortable with it. Alright, so after we have that, da da da, your thumb is already in place on A. We're going to do A, C, D. So just do that a couple times. Remember, thumb is on A, middle finger on C, fourth finger on D. I'm doing the whole measure now on 8. Da 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 da. Alright, all together now. Da 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 da. And the goal is to minimize movement as much as possible. So if you're jerking your hand around and you're flying it across the keys and you're kind of losing your place, you want to do nice, short motions with your hand and keep as close to the keys as you can, because your muscle memory is, you have to work with it. So if you're jerking your hand away from the keys, your hand loses all the context. It can feel its way around while it's close. So if I keep it close, see how little movement that is? That way you're really trying to optimize your navigation of the keys. Fantastic. So that's measure 7 and 8 with the right hand. Now we'll learn the left hand. So we've got a C. So find middle C. And since we're with the left hand, we want to go down to the C right underneath that. So you notice we found the 2 here. And our pinky goes on that. So once again, always take the opportunity to strengthen that pinky up. Just play that note a couple times. And you'll notice that's pretty difficult usually. If you want to practice some things, put all 4 down and then just play that pinky by itself. You'll see how weird that feels. Alright, so that's the first note, and it is a staccato note. You can see that by the little dot that's right underneath the note. So it's nice and quick. Alright, so C to G, back to C. So your fifth finger's on C, pointer finger's on G, which is 5 notes up. C, D, F, G. And then your thumb is up on C. Short, 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 short. Alright, so this is the interesting rhythm because with the right hand, as you can see, we're going to have a lot more going on. So get comfortable with this. Dum, bum, 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 bum. Okay, that's measure number 7. To measure 8, you'll see we start with an F, and it's with our third finger. It's already in position. So it goes from F to C to F. You don't have to move at all. Alright, let's do 7 and 8. Bum, bum, bum. Just do that over and over. Alright, time for the fun part when we combine. Once again, go nice and slow. Be patient with yourself. This is going to be kind of painful until you can feel it. You want to feel that rhythm, alright? So we're going to go nice and slow this first time. Left hand in position, right hand in position, pinky on the G. Remember the right hand melody is. So we're going to be playing that right on top of the bum. Alright, here we go. Alright, how did that feel? I hope it felt good. We're going to just keep doing it nice and slow. If you have a metronome, turn it on, start out nice and slow, and then crank it up. We'll do that together. And then we'll crank it up. Sounding good, and you want to go up until the point where you break. Each time you get it right, increase. And the last one, we're going to go for 120 here. That's tough. Alright, so that's the technique. You want to start out slow if you have a metronome, slowly increase, and it may be very slow for you. And you can actually, so the rhythms, the right hand and the left hand are down at the same time in some instances. So if you'll notice, left hand, right, together. Bum. So notice those points where they come together. The G flat and the G are played at the same time. So you can do that as well. Till you get comfortable. And then you'll notice that the C is when the right hand is resting. So That'll be the tricky part, right? So the right hand stops, left hand plays the C, and then you come back in with the E. So it's really interesting. Find where the rhythms match up and they line up, and find where they don't, and really emphasize those spots. All right. Do the same thing for the measure 8. You'll notice it starts out with the left hand, and then we hit the right hand. F, G, and then those C's line up. And then the C and the F line up. So only the first F of measure 8 is played by itself. The other notes line up. The two C's are played together at the same time, and then the F and the C are played together at the same time. Alright, so really, once again, be patient with yourself. Learn those separately like we did. Do the right hand by itself, master that. Do the left hand by itself, master that. Then slowly combine them together and do it note by note. And really map those up, right? So look at the left hand, look at the right hand, and you'll see when they actually should go down together. Excellent. So now let's move on. That's measures 7 and 8. We're going to move on to measures 9 and 10. As you'll see, measure 9 looks similar to what we've already done. It's exactly the same as measure number 7, except there's one extra note. So the right hand is exactly the same as measure number 7. The left hand is not. The left hand is going to be C, E, G, C. So let's do the left hand first. 5 is down on C, E, G, C, C, E, G, C. And you'll see that that's different from measure 7. Measure 7 was. So there's an extra note, and we're playing an E instead of a G there. Alright, so let's do the right hand again. And the interesting thing about the right hand in measure number 9 is that you'll see the last note is an E, and it's played with the 1. So you'll have to do a little tuck. Look at my hand here. Da, 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 da. Keep that wrist nice and loose. The thumb comes under. Okay. Now let's do them together. Alright, so let's practice the left hand by itself some more. Dum, dum, da, dum. Dum, dum, da, dum. Dum, dum, da, dum. Right hand by itself. Alright, let's try to combine them again. Alright, so be patient with yourself on this one. This one is a little bit trickier because the melody is a little bit different there. And finally, we've got measure number 10 here. You're going to notice we're playing C, G, and F with the right hand. So we've already done the tuck up to G. Then we're going to pop up 1, F, G, C. See it going down. It's right here, right to the left of these two. So F, G, and C. So play that a couple times. And it's forte. See the F? It's loud. Get into it. And then the left hand, it's bum, 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 bum. All right? So your 2 should still be over there on that G. You'll just press it staccato. You'll notice these also have accents on them. That means really loud. So they're forte and accented. All right, let's do it all together. Again. All right, so do that as many times as you need until you get it right. And that is it. Measure 7 through 10. Take time with this one. Watch it a couple times if you need to really get the hang of it. And you've learned so much so far. So as a refresher, let's do measures 1 through 10. So come back to this when you're ready, and you can play along with me. We're going to do measures 1 through 10. All right, here we go. There you have it. Great job, everyone. Remember to hit that subscribe button. Leave me comments. Is there anything that I glossed over? Anything that you still have questions about? Anything that wasn't quite clear? Let me know if I'm moving too fast or too slow. And feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions at all. As always, it's been an absolute pleasure teaching you today, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for stopping by. See ya.